Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, it is that time again. We had a new DLC character for Guilty Gear Strive, and thus it is time for the 12th installment of the developer's backyard, where Arc System Works answers your questions and lets you know what's coming up for the future of Guilty Gear Strive. So as always, there's a fair amount of things to cover. I'll post a link to it in the video description if you want to check it out yourself. Let's cover the more pertinent things. And one, well, hey, Sin came out, right? So they talk about Sin a little bit. The one thing I did find interesting is they talk about Sin now having the flag out. As this time around, they really wanted to highlight the fact that he's fighting with a flag specifically. In Exard, the flag's kind of wrapped around the pole, and it makes him just kind of look like another staff user. So they want to make sure they have that extra layer of visual flair. Also, to make it more similar to his original appearance, which is not Guilty Gear Exard, but rather Guilty Gear Overture, which is a strange hybrid action RTS, almost like a MOBA in a lot of ways, Guilty Gear game. It's important to the plot, I guess, except for the part where it's not really important at all to the overall plot, but it is canonical. So while Sin does have a new look now, he does let his freak flag fly. Now, besides that little Sin tidbit and the Q&A section, which we'll talk about in a moment here, we gotta talk December, because stuff is going down. December patch, what are we getting? We're getting crossplay, full implementation across PC and PlayStation. There ain't any more beta. This is forever implemented in the December patch, which is friggin' awesome. Also, network mode updates, we'll get more into that in a moment here, and the big battle balance patch. So when is this all going down? December, yes, but when in December? The best they can give us now is around the middle of December. And knowing ArcSys around the middle probably means like December 20th or 21st or something like that. So the balance patch, no hints yet. Lord knows, I think most of us love Guilty Gear Strive here, right? Even if we might have some problems with it here and there, but most of us love it, right? But the game can definitely use a tune-over in this current state, right? People like Nagoriyuki and Happy Chaos, on top of being very strong, are sometimes not the funnest characters to fight against, right? And of course, some characters are kind of down there in the doldrums, like say a Potemkin, and can definitely use the love and definitely get some buffs. Whenever we know more about the balance changes, I'll have full coverage here on the channel, don't you worry. But for now, it's a bit of a mystery, but expect the top tiers to get knocked down just a little bit, and the lower tier characters hopefully getting some buffs, and also expect system level changes. We do not get many major balance patches in Guilty Gear Strive, but they've proven they're willing to change a lot of the game mechanics, like air combos, right? Like in a balance patch before, they changed completely how air combo structure works, like what chains into what, and that was a pretty big deal. Also changing how certain Roman cancels work as well. So they're definitely willing and hopefully gonna change up some system mechanics, and hopefully for the better. Who knows what exactly? Once again, that's for the future. Now, for those network changes that were mentioned here, the big thing is now when you're on whatever floor you're going to be on, you can actually manually select whatever floor you want to be on. So normally say you hit floor 10 and you just go in, you're just assigned a random room in floor 10 based on how many people are on whatever floor. Now you can pick and choose, and that's great. And for manual lobbies, the one you manually join, the player count is now higher. It is now 32 instead of 24. If you join an auto lobby, it'll still be 24, but if you want to pick your room specifically, you can have more players in it. So that's good, I guess. Also, it states that the ranking update sequence can be turned off. So when you go from one floor to another, you can just turn off that whole little sequence. No word if it stops you from being kicked out of the match you're in if you rank up, because that's the real annoying part. But if for whatever reason that 10-second animation bugs you, then now you don't got to worry about it. Now, the Q&A segment. Not too many questions this time around, but interesting questions. Question 1. I feel the amazing music is part of the Guilty Gear DNA. Is it possible to display the title of the song playing in fights? That way our opponents and even spectators in tournaments can search for the song after. Can you please consider adding a small title above the timer? To which the Guilty Gear team responds, they would love to create opportunities for many people to listen to Guilty Gear music. When it comes to the background music, we've received requests to add a playlist feature for the random setting, options to register your favorite kind of tracks, all that kind of stuff. They can make no concrete promises at the moment, but they appreciate your support as we work towards making all of this a reality. So maybe a little non-committal on that answer, but you know, it's there. Question number 2, does the character's fighting style make a major impact on how likely they are to make it into the roster? Characters like Aba and Nagoriyuki share similar mechanics in terms of blood management. Does this mean she's less likely to make it in with Nagoriyuki already existing? Same goes for characters like Happy Chaos and Elfelt Valentine as well. They mean basically like heavy gun user characters in that regard. The developers respond, fighting styles are not something they consider as a highly important factor when choosing additional characters. For example, both Nagoriyuki and Baiken are characters that use a katana, which to editorialize is, I guess, a thematic thing, but obviously they play very differently. Thematics are kind of whatever, like how many characters do we have with eye patches now? Going back to their response, of course we would consider the balance if it ended up too skewed in one direction, but that is not the basis for our plans. To add, to put it another way, this means that every character has a chance of making it into the roster, so look forward to the upcoming additional characters. So that's lovely to say, every character has a chance, everyone, but is that a reality? Probably not. Let's say someone like Johnny probably has a better chance of making it into the game than Venom does. You do have to put out characters that a lot of people want to buy, right? And some characters, frankly, are just a lot more popular than other characters. But still, in the end, ABBA fans, they're telling you there is a chance. So that's it for questions. Not too many questions this time around, but once again, on top of the link to the actual developer's backyard, I'll put the link where you can send them your questions because they do take any and all questions and comments. And that's about it for now for the developer's backyard. But one thing I want to kind of go back to is the little roadmap they put out. So here is the Season 2 roadmap. So we started after Evo with Bridget, then we had Sin. Hey, that just happened a couple days ago, right? And then upcoming December, sometime mid-December, will be our crossplay update, our network mode update, and the big battle balance patch, which is awesome. That's a lot of stuff. But now looking to the future. So for the rest of Season 2, there is no guessing. March and May 2023 are our next two characters. And our final characters for Season 2 of Guilty Gear Strive. So March is character number 3, along with a new stage. That's awesome. And May is the 4th and final character of Season 2, along with another new stage. Now, who could they be? Hey, who knows? Could be a million guesses going on, right? Maybe check a video linked at the end of this video to find out who it could be. But I want to put a thought in your head that you probably haven't really thought about just yet. May 2023, that's not even halfway through next year, right? So you got to consider the possibility, the very real possibility, of Guilty Gear Strive Season 3. I know that sounds crazy. Strive is still such a new game, right? But it's gonna happen. And of course with Season 3, more balance changes, more system stuff, and even more downloadable characters for you to get, right? So if your favorites don't show up as characters number 3 and 4 of Season 2 DLC Strive, don't worry, Season 3, there's going to be even more characters to play just yet. So think about that for a little bit, why don't you? And otherwise, well, hey, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.